Greetings, viewer. It is I, Hilariously Scary, and today we have another Scrap Story episode. So I really like superpower stories, not superhero stories. I like stories that are about special powers, not necessarily special people. Something about taking our world with our ordinary citizens and giving them magical abilities fascinates me. As such, I have several stories, specifically 3, that take place in the same universe with superpowers. They share the same basic magic system, but take place at different points in time as to not overlap with each other. But since I haven't devoted as much time to this universe as I have my other ones, I mean, technically they're all scrap stories. Despite taking place decades apart, they're all kind of set in the 21st century. It's easy for me to think about these stories that way. So the time skips are entirely theoretical. Does that make sense? I've already discussed my most developed superhero story, Thicker Than Blood, in my 13th sketchbook tour. That's actually the 3rd story chronologically. We don't talk about the 2nd story. So today we're going to discuss the 1st story in the universe. It's one I like to call Triple Question Mark. Triple Question Mark is about a teenage boy named Cody. That's K-O-D-I. He's half Japanese, half American because apparently I never got over my weeb phase. Cody is not a Japanese name or anything. His name was Cody when he was American, and then I was like, what if he was half Japanese? And so I made it more Japanese looking. It's weird. I can't remember if he was supposed to live in America or Japan, so I'm just gonna say he lives in America for the same reason that I'm having this story take place in modern times. I'm lazy. In this universe, everyone has a superpower called a gift. But at this time, nobody knows they possess these powers because most of them are pretty tame. You don't have full-on super strength, just people that are naturally gifted at athletics. They're good at doing the big jumpy thing. You won't see cold resistance, but you can see people who can swim in freezing temperatures. You won't see full-on telekinesis, but someone might claim to be able to bend spoons. The way that gifts work is all about genetics. People have tame versions of powers, and each generation gets a little stronger, either by mixing their parents' powers or getting a stronger version of one of their parents' powers. So a child of someone with cold resistance and heat resistance might either feel comfortable in either temperature or be especially good at resisting either heat or cold. The way gifts develop is on a rising scale. So while there may not have been much of a difference between parents and children's gifts back in the day, by today, children are nearly twice as powerful as their parents. So as more and more people are born, stronger gifts begin presenting themselves. And so nowadays, there's more and more people claiming to possess powers. Enter Cody's parents, who I don't remember the names of, so I'll just call them Cody's mom and Cody's dad. Cody's dad was a part of a long line of gift bearers with the ability to see people's gifts. His family's job was to ensure that the general public does not discover the existence of gifts, as to protect people with dangerous powers. Cody's mom possessed the ability to copy people's gifts for a brief period of time. They worked together to carry out the mission of Cody's family. Cody's mom had a TV show where she would debunk people claiming to have powers. They would meet up with a person presenting a powerful gift. Cody's dad would tell the mom what their gift was, and she would pretend to debunk their power by recreating what they had done, while pretending to show the strings. The show was popular enough to keep them employed and keep the general public from believing the claims of emergent superpowers, but it wasn't like everybody and their mom knows who Cody's parents are. But that was Cody's parents. As for Cody, he has the same ability as his father. In Cody's sight, everyone's gifts appear at plain green text above their heads, allowing him to know everyone's superpower on sight. That is, everyone but himself. When he looks in the mirror, all he can see above his own head is 3 question marks. He has a simple job: get through high school and then take over his parents' job. One of his tasks in the meantime is keeping his friend at bay. I don't remember what her name is, so let's just look at a random name generator. Alright, Brandy Fitzgerald it is. The Fitzgeralds were an old family friend of the whatever Cody's last name is. They possessed the ability to destroy everything with a single thought. The first Fitzgerald they came across could destroy an entire town with a thought. The next could destroy the towns around them too. The power progressed and progressed until Mr. Fitzgerald, Cody's best friend's dad, who could destroy the solar system with a single thought. And, as powers go, his daughter Brandy could destroy the entire universe with a single thought. But as long as they never had the thought, I want X to be destroyed, then nothing would happen. They were one of the main reasons that Cody's family wanted to keep gifts a secret. If you knew you could destroy the entire galaxy with a single thought, could you keep yourself from thinking it? Forever? Cody's dad never told the mother what their power was for this very reason. If she knew she could copy them, then she would be in just as much danger. In any case, it was up to Cody's family to see them happy enough to never have that thought. Cody's dad kept Mr. Fitzgerald's hopes up, and Cody kept Brandy's hopes up. The problem? The Fitzgeralds are notoriously gloomy people. Cody has known Brandy since birth, and he has never seen the girl smile before. Still, whatever his family was doing must have been working since the universe was still intact. The story begins with Cody and Brandy at school. Cody's class is a mishmash of gifts, but the most popular boy in school has a special ability that makes him stand out. His name is... oh gosh, I really didn't name any of these characters, did I? Hold on. Carrie? No, that's too close to Cody. Alright, Irving Harris. Irving has the gift to make anyone fall in love with him. Even knowing this, Cody couldn't help but fall for Irving's charms. He doesn't tell anybody about this, not even his parents. I mean, falling for the class favorite? How embarrassing. After introducing all his classmates, the story gets to the real conflict. Brandy has a secret to tell Cody. She has a crush on him. He tries to turn her down politely, but realizes how deeply invested she is in him. If he says no, it could break her heart. It might even lead to the end of the universe. So, with his bravest smile, he tells her that he feels the same way. The two start dating. For the first time in her life, Brandy actually seems happy. She dotes on him on dates, wears huge grins while cuddling, and just overall acts like her life is finally worth living. Cody's parents warn him. He can never break up with Brandy. It would break her, and probably the universe. He doesn't like Brandy in that way, seeing her only as a friend, and feels awkward in this new position. Still, he knows he has to do his job. He grits his teeth and does his best to be the perfect boyfriend. Even though he tries hard to deny it, being with Brandy just makes him want Irving more. On dates, he imagines Irving's kind voice talking next to him. While cuddling, all he can picture is Irving's warm smile. Looking into Brandy's dull gray eyes, he always finds himself imagining Irving's soft brown ones. As if things couldn't get worse, Irving suddenly takes an interest in the young couple, specifically in Cody. Since Cody is taken, Irving feels like he finally found a friend who isn't interested in dating him. The two become close, and Cody ends up spending as much time with Irving as he does with Brandy. He keeps Irving away from his father as to not reveal Irving's power. Still, Cody hates himself for allowing himself to get caught up in Irving's gifts and tries to tell himself that's all it is, just a twisted ability manipulating Cody's emotions. His family becomes suspicious of Cody and Irving's relationship but never comments on it. That was until Irving comes over for a surprise visit one day. Cody's father gets a full view of Irving's gift. He is able to compose himself while the boy is there, but as soon as he's gone, Cody's dad chews out his son. How dare he interact with a gift like that? They finally had a reason for why Cody was so enamored by the schoolboy. He was in love, but as Cody's parents reminded him, he had to love Brandy. The whole universe was at stake. Cody had to cut ties with Irving immediately. The next day, Cody asks Irving if he can speak with him alone. Nervous, Irving agrees. Once alone, Cody tells him that they can't be friends anymore. Irving is shocked and upset, asking him why. Cody can't give him an answer. In a final attempt to connect with Cody, Irving lets something off his chest. Irving confesses that he's in love with Cody. Cody doesn't know how to react. He can't react. If anything happens between Irving and Cody, Brandy would be so distraught and then the world would end. Seeing no other option, Cody tells Irving that he doesn't feel the same way and asks to be left alone. It kills him on the inside, but Irving agrees. Caught up in a whirlwind of emotion, Cody skips the rest of school that day. He can't wrap his head around the fact that Irving would like him. Irving was everything to Cody. He wanted nothing more than to be with him. But he had rejected Irving. The cognitive dissonance was too much for his mind. No, he told himself, you only loved Irving because of his power. But what made Irving love him? What made Brandy love him? He couldn't make sense of it. Then he stopped in front of a storefront and stared at his reflection, at those 3 little green question marks above his hand. Something finally clicked in his head. Gifts are inherited from parents, either approved upon or combined. His father could see people's abilities, like him. His mother could mimic people's abilities. The question marks above his head began to change. They switched to a single word: copy. Cody's true gift revealed itself. He could not only see people's abilities, but copy them as well. That's why Brandy and Irving fell in love with him. He had subconsciously been copying Irving's power. Not only that, but now he had to face the reality of having Brandy's powers. One stray thought and he could destroy all of humanity, all of the world, all of the universe. How do you keep yourself from thinking something? It's impossible. Cody considers killing himself, but realizes it would be no good. Him dying would make Brandy beyond upset, thus putting the universe in danger. And that's as far as I got with the story. I never really came up with a good solution. That's part of the reasons it's scrapped. I had some idea about a person with a gift to make people forget. He was the reason Cody's power looked like question marks to him. When he was a kid, he made Cody forget his own powers or something. There is some inkling of a story about Cody, Brandy, and Irving tracking the man down and having Cody forget all about Brandy and the Fitzgeralds. I don't really remember. I'd love to hear if somebody has a better ending in mind. Leave it in the comments and I'll heart my favorites. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed learning about this story. Trust me, I have a lot more scrapped stories planned. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!